Emma was different. Her eyes held all the shades of green, so deep. They seemed to hold the mystery of chrysolite gems. She lived in a village nestled by a lake, a place where the wind carried whispers of ancient secrets, and the trees held the memories of bygone eras. It was a place where the line between reality and magic blurred, and the mundane intertwined with the mystical. Emma's laughter was like the tinkling of wind chimes, yet her silence was as profound as the lake at midnight. Her very presence seemed to ripple the air around her, disturbing the stillness with an unseen energy. Even her touch carried a strange warmth, a spark that made people recoil, a sensation that made them label her as strange. The villagers spoke of her in hushed tones, their voices a blend of fear and fascination. Some saw her as a blessing, a child touched by the mystical aura of the lake. Others saw her as a curse, a harbinger of change in their peaceful world. But Emma remained oblivious to their whispers, lost in her world of vivid dreams and strange occurrences, a world that only she could perceive. Emma's world was a tapestry woven with threads of reality and fantasy, stitched together with the silk of the unknown. She walked through life with an air of wonder, her eyes always searching for something beyond the ordinary, something that echoed the whispers of her soul. It was a lonely journey, but Emma had learned to embrace her solitude, finding solace in the rustling leaves and the murmuring waves. The lake was more than just a body of water to Emma. It was a confidant, a mirror reflecting her deepest fears and desires. Its surface, shimmering under the sun, held 1,000 stories, tales whispered by the wind and carried on moonbeams. In its depths, she saw visions, fragments of memories that were not her own, glimpses into a world beyond the realm of her understanding. Often she sat by the lake, her legs dangling over the wooden pier, her fingers tracing patterns on the weathered planks. She would lose herself in the rhythm of the waves, their gentle lapping against the shore, a soothing melody that calmed her troubled mind. The lake was her sanctuary, a place where she could shed the weight of the world and just be, without judgment or expectations. But even in her sanctuary, shadows lurked. There were moments when the lake's tranquility turned ominous, its surface mirroring the darkness within her. The whispers of the wind turned into menacing growls, and the gentle ripples morphed into raging waves that threatened to consume her whole. It was during these moments that Emma felt most alone, adrift in a sea of uncertainty, clinging to the fragile raft of her own sanity. Emma knew that the lake held secrets, ancient and powerful. She felt them in the depths of her being, a constant hum against her soul. They called to her, beckoning her to explore the uncharted territories of her own mind, to dive into the abyss of the unknown and emerge transformed. Home was a small cottage, walls adorned with faded floral wallpaper and the scent of her grandmother's lavender perfume lingering in the air. It was a place filled with memories, both happy and melancholic, a testament to a life lived amidst the changing seasons. But for Emma, it was a cage, a gilded prison that stifled her spirit and confined her to a life she didn't recognize as her own. Her parents, with their worried eyes and hushed whispers, were like strangers, their attempts to understand her only widening the chasm between them. They saw her strangeness as a disease, something to be cured, a deviation from the norm that needed correction. Their love was a suffocating blanket, well-intentioned, but ultimately suffocating, leaving her gasping for air. Dinner conversations were strained, filled with awkward silences and forced smiles. Emma would sit at the table, picking at her food, her gaze drifting towards the window, longing for the freedom of the open sky. The walls seemed to close in on her, the air thick with unspoken words and unacknowledged emotions. Home was a place of unspoken anxieties, a silent battleground where love and fear waged a constant war. Emma yearned for a connection, a sense of belonging that eluded her grasp. She longed for someone who could see beyond her strangeness, someone who could understand the language of her soul. But she was trapped in a world that couldn't comprehend her, a world that labeled her different, an outsider in her own home. The air crackled with an unseen energy, a palpable hum that vibrated through Emma's bones. It was as if the world itself was holding its breath, waiting for something extraordinary to unfold. The wind whispered secrets through the rustling leaves, carrying tales of ancient powers and forgotten magic, their echoes reverberating in the chambers of her heart. Objects moved with a life of their own, dancing to an unheard melody. Doors creaked open as if beckoning her into hidden realms, and shadows shifted and danced in the flickering candlelight. It was a symphony of the unseen, a ballet of the ethereal, a world unveiled only to her chrysolite color eyes. Emma felt a surge of power coursing through her veins, a raw, untamed energy that both terrified and exhilarated her. Her fingertips tingled with a strange warmth, a conduit for the unseen forces swirling around her. The world was alive with magic, a vibrant tapestry woven with threads of wonder and mystery, and she was at its epicenter. These moments were both a blessing and a curse, a glimpse into a world beyond the ordinary, yet a constant reminder of her isolation. It was a secret she couldn't share, a burden she had to bear alone, a truth that set her apart from the world she knew. School was a battlefield, a place of echoing laughter and harsh whispers, where judgments were passed like currency, and cruelty was a badge of honor. Emma navigated its corridors with a quiet dread, her heart pounding a war drum against her ribs, her every step echoing the fear that clung to her like a shroud. The other children, with their bright eyes and carefree laughter, seemed to belong to a different species. They moved in packs, their words like weapons, their gazes sharp as blades. Emma was an outsider, an anomaly in their meticulously ordered world, her radiant green eyes a target for their mockery, her silence a provocation for their scorn. There was one girl, Sarah, with eyes like chips of ice and a smile that never reached her gaze. She was the queen bee, the orchestrator of Emma's daily torment. Her words were venom dripping with malice, designed to wound and belittle. Emma became her favorite target, the subject of her cruel games, the scapegoat for her own insecurities. Emma endured the taunts, the shoves, the relentless whispers that followed her like shadows. She retreated further into herself, seeking solace in the world of books and dreams, where imagination offered an escape from the harsh realities of the schoolyard. Each day was a trial by fire, a test of her resilience, a constant reminder of her difference. The fog rolled in from the lake, a silent, ethereal blanket, swallowing the village in its embrace. It moved with an unnatural grace, swirling and eddying, obscuring the familiar landmarks, transforming the ordinary into something eerie and unsettling. It was as if the lake itself was exhaling, releasing its secrets into the night, blurring the lines between the real and the imagined. The air grew heavy, thick with the scent of damp earth and decaying leaves. The street lamps cast long, distorted shadows, their light struggling to penetrate the dense white veil. Sounds became muffled, distorted. The world transformed into a surreal dreamscape where reality was fluid and perception was subjective. It was in the heart of this fog, amidst the swirling mists and the hushed silence, that Mr. Fogg appeared. He emerged from the swirling vapors, a figure as enigmatic and elusive as the fog itself. His features were obscured by the swirling mists, his eyes gleaming with an unnatural light, his presence both unsettling and strangely reassuring. Mr. Fogg was an enigma, a whisper on the wind, a shadow in the fog. His origins were unknown, his purpose shrouded in mystery. He moved through the village like a phantom, his presence felt but rarely seen, a guardian angel cloaked in the mists of the lake. Emma felt a cold shiver run down her spine, a prickling sensation at the back of her neck. The air around her crackled with an unseen energy, a palpable tension that sent goosebumps erupting on her skin. It was as if she were being watched, observed by unseen eyes, her every move scrutinized by an unknown entity. She quickened her pace, her heart pounding a frantic rhythm against her ribs. The fog seemed to press in on her, suffocating, disorienting, a physical manifestation of her growing fear. The shadows danced around her, twisting and contorting, taking on menacing shapes in her heightened state of anxiety. Suddenly, a hand reached out from the swirling mists, a firm, reassuring grip on her arm. Emma gasped. A scream caught in her throat, her instincts screaming at her to run, to escape the unseen danger that lurked in the swirling fog. But the hand held her fast, its touch oddly comforting, a beacon of hope in the heart of her growing panic. "Don't be afraid, child," a voice whispered, soft and melodic, cutting through the fog of her fear. "You are not alone." It was Mr. Fogg, his presence a tangible shield against the unseen forces that threatened to consume her. His voice, calm and steady, was an anchor in the storm, a lifeline thrown to her in her moment of need. Mr. Fogg became Emma's guide, a mentor in the world of the unseen. He showed her how to harness the energies that swirled around her, how to control the power that surged within her veins. He taught her the language of the wind, the secrets whispered by the rustling leaves, the ancient wisdom embedded in the heart of the lake. Under his tutelage, Emma's powers blossomed. She learned to manipulate objects with her mind, to bend the elements to her will, to perceive the world beyond the veil of the ordinary. The fog became her training ground, a mystical realm where she honed her skills, her fear replaced by a growing sense of wonder and awe. But Mr. Fogg taught her more than just magic. He taught her about courage, about facing her fears, about embracing her uniqueness. He helped her to see her difference not as a curse, but as a gift, a source of strength and resilience. He opened her eyes to the beauty of the unseen world, to the interconnectedness of all things, to the magic that pulsed beneath the surface of the mundane. Emma's journey was a transformation, a shedding of the old self and an embracing of the new. She learned to navigate the world with a newfound confidence, her dazzling green eyes shining with the light of her awakened spirit. The whispers of magic became her anthem, a symphony of the soul, a testament to the power that lay dormant within her. The path ahead was uncertain, veiled in the mists of the unknown, but Emma no longer feared the shadows, no longer cowered from the whispers. She walked with a newfound confidence, her steps lighter, her heart filled with a sense of purpose. The world, once a source of fear and isolation, now shimmered with possibilities, a canvas upon which she could paint her own destiny. The Indigo girl, once an outcast, now stood on the threshold of a new world, a world where magic was real, where the impossible was possible, and where her difference was not a burden, but a beacon. She was no longer a girl lost in the shadows, but a young woman embracing the light, her eyes reflecting the infinite possibilities that lay ahead. The journey was far from over, the path fraught with challenges and uncertainties. But Emma was ready to face the unknown, armed with her courage, her powers, and the unwavering guidance of Mr. Fogg. The whispers of the lake called to her, beckoning her towards a destiny yet to be unveiled, a future shimmering with the promise of adventure and self-discovery. The Indigo girl, once a whisper in the wind, was now a force to be reckoned with, her spirit as vast and deep as the lake that had nurtured her powers. She was a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, a beacon of hope in a world teetering on the edge of the unknown. And her journey had only just begun.
Pick up your copy today. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notifications for regular updates.